Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Electrified Latina and today I have the honor and privilege to be introducing to you the HOVSCO HovAlpha 26-inch fat tire high-end electric bike. Now, I had the privilege to review this e-bike last summer when eBikes USA borrowed it to me for a review, and I fell in love back then. So I am so excited to be having it in this channel now. Now today, I will be giving you my first impressions on this e-bike, but before we dive in, let's roll the intro. This e-bike goes for $16.99, but I will leave a coupon code for $100, bringing it down to $15.99. Now, this is an awesome deal, and it competes with other higher-end fat tire e-bikes to the tune of the Aventon Adventure, but that one goes for $2,000. There are quite a few 26-inch fat tire e-bikes in the market. It seems like almost every other e-bike brand carries a 26-inch fat tire e-bike in their lineup. So in this video, I'm going to be comparing the HOVSCO HovAlpha to the top 26-inch fat tire e-bikes in the market, and actually another two. They're all under $2,000, and they're also Class 3 e-bikes. I won't be comparing it to the crazy powerful monster e-bikes such as the eSales 5-Star. Some of these 26-inch fat tire e-bikes that I will be comparing it to sell in stores across the United States, which is really good because then you will get all the support for assembly and for fixing your bike if it has any issues, okay? So the two e-bikes that I'm going to be comparing the HOVSCO HovAlpha to are number one, the Aventon Adventure number 2, which it's said to be the best fat tire e-bike in the market. And number 2, it's going to be the Traxxas Explorer. So let's go dive in, and I'm going to be telling you about how the specs compare. All right, first ride on the HOVSCO HovAlpha. Okay, but first of all, we're going to be comparing the specs between the 3 e-bikes that I just mentioned, okay? I will be putting a list on top so that you can follow along. Okay, so for the motor, the 3 of them, so HOVSCO HovAlpha, Aventon Adventure 2, and the Traxxas Explorer, the 3 of them have a 750 watt motor, but the one on the HovAlpha peaks at 1300 watts, the one on the Adventure 2 peaks at 1200 watts, and for the Explorer, we don't have that information, okay? So now the torque on the HovAlpha, it's 90 Newton meters, Adventure 2 80, and Traxxas Explorer 80. Battery on the HOVSCO HovAlpha, it's a 48 volt 20 ampere hour. Aventon Adventure, it's a 48 volt 15 ampere hour battery, so a lot smaller. And on the Traxxas, it's also a 48 volt 20 ampere hour battery. Now the battery brands, so the 3 of them are using high quality cells. The HovAlpha is using either Samsung or LG, whatever is available. The one on the Adventure 2, oh, Johncito, atrás. Adventure 2, they're using LG, and the Traxxas is using Samsung. Now, the range. So for the HOVSCO HovAlpha, they estimate a range of 80 miles. Aventon Adventure 60 miles, and the Explorer is also 62 miles. Now the torque, meaning the sensor, okay? So the sensor on the HovAlpha, they're using a torque sensor, very nice. The Adventure 2 with this version, they're also using a torque sensor, and the Traxxas is using a cadence sensor. So this is where you see the discrepancy in estimated range, because, you know, between the HovAlpha and the Traxxas, And this is because with a torque sensor, it's going to be a more efficient for your battery than a cadence sensor. Because with a torque sensor, you have to push on the pedals in order to engage the motor. And the cadence being a speed sensor, you just have to rotate the pedals, and those, it spends a lot more energy. Okay, now let's talk about top speed. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, the three of them are class 3 e-bikes. So the top speed for the three of them is 28 miles an hour. Of course, we're going to see in my full review if I can squeeze out a little bit more juice, a little bit more top speed out of the HovAlpha coche. But the difference though, guys, is that the HovAlpha, you can get to class 3 speeds on throttle alone. So you're 28 miles an hour, both throttle and pedal assist. The other two, it's a true class 3, meaning on throttle, no matter what, you'll only be able to get to 20 miles an hour, and then you have to pedal to reach that top speed. So this is something that just got upgraded on the HovAlpha because it has been around for at least a year. So very nice, I love to hear that. Okay, now the display. On the HOVSCO HovAlpha, it's this beautiful and uniquely shaped display. It's a color display. In the Adventure 2, it's also a color display. And on the Explorer, it's a black and white display. You know, for the price range, and at this time, this day and time, most e-bikes now, around this price range, they have color displays. So I like to see that. Now for brakes, the three of them are using hydraulic disc brakes. So very good. What else, guys? For payload capacity on the HovAlpha, it's an impressive 450 pounds, while on the Adventure 2, it's 400 pounds, and the Explorer is 350 pounds. The suspension for the three of them, they are a hardtail, meaning they only have a front suspension and no rear suspension. And they each have an 80 millimeter travel suspension. The HovAlpha comes with replacement parts being available, dealers across the United States, and the three of them have this. The price of the HovAlpha after my $100 discount code, which will be in the description below, it's $50.99. For the Adventure 2, it's $19.99. And for the Explorer, it's $17.99. So there is actually a pretty big price difference here. The weight. This bike is 72 pounds. The Adventure 2 is 77 pounds, and the Explorer is 81 pounds. All right, so these are all the specs and the difference they have, and then also in some specs they are the same. Okay, so but now that you've heard this, as you can see, the battery on the HovAlpha is way bigger than the Adventure 2. And also it's more powerful. It has more torque than the other two. So, you know, a higher torque translates into a faster acceleration, better for climbing hills, and also a higher top speed. Well, the higher top speed comes with a bigger controller too. So also with this bike, you can hit top speeds of, I don't know, 28, 30 miles an hour on throttle and pedal assist, while on the other two, you can only hit the top speeds if you are pedaling. Now this one has the highest payload capacity, but at the same time, it is the lightest out of the three, which is awesome. Then you have replacement parts available. Dealers all across the United States meaning that they'll be able to service your bike and maintain it for you easily. And even with all of these advantages that the HovAlpha has over the other two, it's the one that comes at the lowest price of $15.99. This is $400 under the Aventon Adventure and $200 under the Truxas Explorer. Now, this is a fantastic price for all the specs and components and a torque sensor and just all these features on the HovAlpha. But guys, I would urge you, if you are interested in buying an e-bike and buying the HovAlpha, you should do it as soon as possible because prices on e-bikes are going to be going up anytime soon. I mean, some already have because of Tariff 301, which is a tariff imposed on e-bikes coming from China of 25%. So prices will be going up by a pretty noticeable amount, okay? Whoop. Now, let me tell you about my first riding impressions on the HOVSCO HovAlpha. Now, its looks. I think this is a gorgeous e-bike. This is the very first thing that attracted me to this e-bike are its looks. Okay, so I got the red champagne, which is a scorched paint, and it also has that silver lettering. I think it makes it look so classy and beautiful. It also, dame vueltacioncito. It also has the smooth welding technology. So there are no ugly, chunky welds on it. They're so smooth. I love the lines. It's just elegant. And it comes in the step-through version, and it also comes in a step-over version. And each version has different colors. Beautiful. All right, so for comfort. So these bars, so they're not, you know, your BMX like handlebars for that very upright riding position, but I think the handlebars that come with, it fits it really well. It has a little bit, so they're more like your, like a mid-rise bar here. So this is good for cruising around. You're like not bent over, but you're not completely upright. It's like kind of like in the middle. It has a good length to them. The saddle, we've been riding for a few miles now. The saddle, the width feels good, but it does feel a little stiff for like longer rides. Might have to change that. And yeah, the pedals actually, so let's talk about contact points. So the pedals are metal and they're actually really big. Like it covers like almost like half of my shoe. I really like the pedals actually. The grips feel really, really good. They have this nice soft material, but they're also firm and they're locked in so they don't twist around on you. It's good, pretty nice. And now, let me see, oh shoot, how it handles. Zigzags, John. Okay, so let me do some zigzags here, although I'm gonna have to get behind John because there are some cars coming, but you know, honestly, this bike feels high end. It feels so solid, it's smooth, it's stable, and it's definitely, you can tell the difference between this one having a torque sensor and a cadence sensor, because it definitely makes you work for it. If you're not using the throttle, of course, if you're pedaling. And I love that. Torque sensors are my favorite, guys, because I like to exercise, I like to pedal. But yeah, this bike is comfortable and it actually feels very powerful. I mean, you know, it's a 48 volt, 750 watt motor, but it feels powerful. And the way it comes stock, it is locked to class 2. So I'm only getting up to 20 miles an hour. So I have to go into the display so that I can unlock the higher speeds. And I will let you know in my full review how I did that. But yeah, brakes feel good. They're not the best brakes I've ever felt. I would like even stronger brakes. Of course, we'll be testing this in the full review. And yeah, no, so far, it's everything that I remembered it to be last summer when I reviewed it. I love it. I am so keeping this bike. And yeah, big battery. There's just so many good things about it, but I don't want to go like very deep into the information because I'm going to be saving it for the full review. Guys, thank you so much for coming along to another one of my videos. Love making this kind of videos for you. Oh, if you enjoyed, if this was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, as this really helps to support my channel. And also, like I said, if you're interested, there will be a $100 discount code in the description below. Take care. Always remember, whatever you're doing, happy riding. Stay safe.